The undisputed king of beers, this Bud's for you. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council President Jose Sulaiman, Supervisor Mauricio Sulaiman, along with the International Boxing Federation, the President Hiawatha Knight, Supervisor Darrell Peoples, and the New York State Athletic Commission, the Chairman Mel Southard, Commissioners Jerome Becker and Mark Kornstein. Introducing to you our three judges scoring the bout from ringside, from Harlem, New York, George Colon; from Hillside, New Jersey, Larry Hazard Jr.; from Brick, New Jersey, Tom Kazmarek; and the third man of the ring, our referee in charge, working in this, his 89th professional bout, introducing Steve Smoger. All right, fans, here we go with the featured bout of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC and IBF Middleweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Madison Square Garden, it's time for the main event of the evening. Introducing to you first on my right, the WBC World Champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks and hailing from our nation's capital of Washington, D.C. He weighed in at a trim and ready 157.5 pounds. His record 35 wins, 2 losses, with 23 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the two-time WBC Middleweight Champion of the World, introducing Keith Holmes. And his opponent across the ring, the IBF World Champion on my left, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing black trunks with gold trim, fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at 159 pounds. His record 38 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, with 28 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight he is making the 13th defense of his title. Please welcome the IBF Middleweight Champion of the World, introducing Bernard, the Executioner Hopkins. Once again, our referee in charge, Steve Smoger, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of boxing schedule.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you all right, babe? Keith. All right, gentlemen, you were given your instructions at the weigh-in. I want you to obey my commands at all times. Respect the bell, and above all, protect yourself at all times. God bless. Touch him up. Touch him up. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Don't start. Get in the corner. Get in the corner.
You can't hurt me, Steve. You can't hurt me.
Sometimes it takes a long time to become young, as Bernard Hopkins has appeared the last couple of years. But you can also get old very fast in this game, and Hopkins is, by at least 4 years, the oldest fighter in this tournament.
Tommy.
Keith Holmes is younger, potentially hungrier. But will that hunger mean something against the tenacity and skills of Bernard Hopkins?
Holmes has got to be in position to make the big guy, he's talked all the big talk, make him run into something. I wouldn't take any steps forward. Make him come to you. And of course, Hopkins he's talked the fire now. He's got to bring the burner.
It was interesting, George. I had a conversation with 130-pound star Shambe Mitchell, who actually 140-pound star Shambe Mitchell, who has sparred down in Washington, D.C. with both Holmes and William Joppy in this tournament. He said Holmes hits very hard if he catches you at the end of his punches. You can limit his power by stepping inside and making him shorten his punches up.
Yeah, that's the way it is with most guys, especially with the longer arms. They need that extension for power.
Hey, don't punch. Step. The mouth down.
This is where Hopkins wants to be and Holmes doesn't.
In case you can read Holmes's waistband, that designation, Ben Yehuda, son of Judah, is his name in Hebrew. He's a member of a small sect called the African Hebrew Israelites.
Don't punch, don't punch. Step out, step out, step out, step out. Hurry, don't punch, don't punch. Step. When I say don't punch, you break clean. Come on.
Holmes keep that right jab out there at all times. Makes Hopkins has to jump in, and when he's in there, he's out of position. That's why it turns into a clinch.
When he's in rhythm, Holmes throws an average of more than 40 jabs per round. That's against other opponents. If he can average more than 40 jabs a round against Bernard Hopkins, Hopkins will have a challenge getting inside.
Hands up.
Unexpected, almost an overhand left that Holmes thrown through. Almost.
Round one, a tactical round. If they fight 12 rounds like that, Keith Holmes is going to be a happy man.
Okay, baby. You got to get busy with the left hand, son. Let it know what the left hand's all about. You're not jabbing enough. Don't worry about it landing, just let it move, okay? Just let the hand move.
Got the towel.
You get in close, let them shots rip inside. All right, baby? Let them rip up inside.
Play with him. The only way you're going to set him up for that straight left hand is off that jab. You keep that jab out in front of him.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Swallow.
Now don't stand. Keep. Don't stand direct in front of him. Move around it. Don't stand direct in front of him. Okay? So keep the stick in front of him.
Keep the stick on.
All right.
Lead
You
it.
gotta do that.
Lead it. Take your time.
All right?
All right, deep breath. Stay focused too, okay? Stay focused.
I scored that first round even, and if you're wondering what happens in the tournament if there's a draw, they do it again.
CompuBox numbers in the first round favored Hopkins. 10 of 31 for 32%. Holmes only 6 of 36. Holmes landing only 2 of 27 jabs. But they stayed at distance, and that's what I was referring to when I said that Holmes would like the fight if it stayed that way. He'll have to be more active.
I said that right straight left hand that Holmes threw was unexpected because it had a little power on it. Hopkins tasted something I don't think he's prepared to taste a lot of.
Don't punch. Step, step. Hey, don't punch. Don't punch. Step, step, step. Step out.
Keith Holmes has got eyes like flashlights. You can believe he's using them. Sees the whole body of Hopkins.
And Holmes, for his part, says that he thinks Hopkins closes his eyes when he comes in. In fact, he said Bernard's big strength is intimidating fighters before the fight and then fouling them during the fight.
When you're fighting a guy with good eyes and reflexes like Holmes, you got to stay real close to them. Keep your hand on them at all times because they can see any little slip up you throw.
Straight right hand by Hopkins, partially blocked by Holmes. Now Hopkins goes to the body with success.
Let him out. Let him out. Don't punch. Don't punch. Hold his head. Stop holding him. He'll watch his head. Come on. Don't punch. Don't punch. Step.
Hopkins is pretty smart. He watches when the referee is on one side, and he hits down low. He's certain the referee can't see him.
Don't punch, don't punch. Step out, step out, step out, step out.
This is why you should raise your tall left-handed sons to be relief pitchers, not fighters.
Keep the pressure on, baby. Keep the pressure on. Keep it on. Keep it on. Keep it on. Use that left hand a little more inside for me, son. Just a little more, okay? Give me out of respect.
I get my rhythm, that's all.
Okay, you're picking it up. You're getting it up. You're getting it up.
Playing him in box, okay?
You got to keep this guy. Come on.
You got it. You got it. You got it, Keith.
Come on.
You got the move. Keith, you got it. Yeah. That's the key right there. Box, baby, okay? Right?
Come on now. You got to use that stick. Look, you aren't going to hit him with that left hand until you hit him with that right jab.
Straight.
Okay? You got to hit him with that first. Come on now. Hit the striker with some body shots on the inside. Okay? All right. All right, but keep your jab in front of you. Come on. You got to work it, man.
CompuBox numbers through round 2. Holmes seen by CompuBox's punch counters to have landed only 8 of 57 jabs. Hopkins with a 22-7 edge in Power Connect. Round 2, much more to Hopkins' liking in terms of style. And you heard Holmes' corner asking him to step forward and land the jab so that he can start to set up something else. Hopkins with a hard right hand up the middle.
Hopkins trying to make Holmes take the lead and then counter him. Something Holmes would be uncomfortable with, preferring to counter punch.
When a guy's following you around, hitting you on all kinds of places like Holmes is doing, like Hopkins is doing Holmes, you find yourself trying to protect yourself more than executing what your corner tells you to do. That's what's happening to Holmes now.
So Hopkins has managed to put Holmes on the defensive.
Hey, don't punch, don't punch.
There it was, just as you said, George. Bernard Hopkins throwing borderline low blows right on the belt line on the side away from Steve Smoker.
And the referee isn't tall enough to kind of peep over.
George, the referee would have to be about 6'6" to peep over some of those.
Well, if you're not tall enough, get around there. You got to move both sides.
Hopkins
right.
diving in to go to the body there.
Hey, don't punch, don't punch. Step, step.
You teach your fighter to watch the opponent, but Hopkins is watching the referee.
Hey, don't punch, Bernard.
Bernard Hopkins repeatedly said in pre-fight public appearances leading up to this, if I can't knock out Keith Holmes, I don't deserve to win this tournament. This won't go the distance. Holmes said, let him talk. I've been an underdog all my life. I don't mind being an underdog here.
Now that good combination was instigated with a punch below the belt. And the referee couldn't stop and warn him because the action got better. This is a smart character, Hopkins.
It's starting to become more of a close quarters brawl than a boxing match.
Don't punch, don't punch.
And by all odds and expectations, that should favor Bernard Hopkins.
Now Hopkins has to take a breath after all of those punches. This is when Holmes should be right on him. Get right back on him.
As round 3 comes to a close, Keith Holmes not active enough to put any pressure on Bernard Hopkins. For boxing, mark these dates on your calendar. 1 week from tonight. Heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis takes on Hasim Rahman in a title fight live from the outskirts of Johannesburg, South Africa. The fight will take place at 5 o'clock in the morning Johannesburg time so that we can show it to you in prime time here on HBO. April 28, KO Nation returns as undefeated welterweight champion Andrew Six Heads Lewis takes on Larry Marks. And on May 5, Boxing After Dark brings you fiery Fernando Vargas coming back against Wilfredo Rivera, only on HBO, the heart and soul of boxing.
You're slow doing it. All right, now get it out there, in front of you. Get inside, bang his body. Bang that body of his on the inside, okay? When I'm downstairs.
Let's see if there was a low blow here. It was slightly low, borderline. Another one on the borderline. You see where Holmes's trunks are very high, not as high as they sometimes have been.
They didn't show the one that really got him low before the exchange started.
By CompuBox numbers, round 3 was huge for Hopkins. He landed 24 punches to only 6 for Holmes. Holmes's punch output has dropped with each succeeding round. He started out fighting what looked like his fight in the first round, hasn't been able to sustain it, and in the third round was fighting Hopkins's fight.
Sometimes it's good to let a guy like Hopkins spend himself by throwing all those low and high blows and just keep your jab in his chest and in his chin, on his chin.
Harold, how do you have it through the first 3?
Okay, Jim, 3-0, 30-27, Bernard Hopkins. Jim, I got to tell you, Bernard Hopkins, interestingly enough, starts out circling the wrong way, goes to the right. Keith Holmes should pop him with the straight left. He can't pull the trigger. Another thing, when they get in close, Keith Holmes doesn't grab Bernard behind the elbows. Therefore, Bernard can work on the inside before Smokey does break. You got to grab Bernard Hopkins behind those elbows and tie him up, or he's just going to keep working inside.
Break. Come on, get out.
Oh, you don't want to bend your neck like that with a guy like that.
He's a fish out of water inside, isn't he, George? I mean, he's just not comfortable fighting in close quarters, and it's obvious here.
When your neck get bent like that, then the rest of your energy goes.
Break. Keith, all you're doing is holding. Box.
And you heard Steve Smoger coaching Keith Holmes there, saying, Keith, all you're doing is holding.
He complained to the referee, and that's why.
Don't punch, step.
He answered him with that.
Hopkins is stepping in and leading with right hands to the chest and the belly.
Step out. Bernard, you got to keep him up, you understand? Keep him up.
Finally, we got a warning.
Smoger's got his hands full tonight. Another right hand lead.
This is Holmes' chance now to jump on him. He's trying to coast a little bit. Hopkins is trying to coast. You got to get right on it.
Step. Keep him up, Bernard. Keep him up.
Hopkins landed the little low blow. Holmes looked right at the referee.
Now look. Holmes is about an inch or an inch and a half taller than Hopkins, whose trunks are about 4 inches taller than Hopkins' trunks.
Good observation there.
We don't want him to punch. Do the punch, Keith.
Okay, good enough. Good enough. That's the way to go, Steve. Thank you very much.
Come on now, you gotta let them hands go.
Hey,
You
ready,
gotta let
baby?
their hands go.
Ready? All right. Hey,
Come on, let's roll, man. Let's roll. Let your hands go.
Let's get busy. You understand?
Come on.
Busy with the jab. Busy.
Come on, Keith.
All right? I want you to use for you. Don't give him a whole lot of time.
For the right hand, yes, sir. You right there for the right hand?
Right there. Don't give him a whole lot of time in between the breaks, okay? Right back on top of him. All right, baby?
Feint with it, baby. Feint. Check it out. Give us some feints, Hex.
Hopkins is trained by the veteran Bowie Fischer. You've seen him many times here on HBO in the past, notably with Ivan Robinson, who had some memorable fights against Arturo Gatti and others on this channel. Holmes is trained by Dave Jacobs.
Stay right there, Bernard.
Who was with Sugar Ray Leonard through much of his career. Now Smoger is going to stop the action and get a retape on Keith Holmes' right glove.
The thing I've noticed about Holmes, George, is that he isn't really using the jab effectively. He's not trying to throw it hard. He's not working it. Look at that. I mean, he's just throwing it out there nice. He's blocking it. I mean, if that's his asset, his height and his reach, when is he going to use it? Look at this.
Hopkins has been very successful at making this guy protect himself. If he overextends his jab, he thinks that this guy's going to run into him and hit him somewhere.
Well, if he's afraid to throw his best weapon, then he's giving up on the fight.
That's it. That's well said.
Let him out, Bernard. Let him out. Hands up, keep him up, Bernard.
Body shot by Holmes was his most effective punch so far. Hopkins coming back with body shots of his own.
I think it's the right time for Holmes to open up now. Hopkins has been spending himself, reaching and jumping in as much. Get right back on him. He's tired.
Coming into the fight, it was a given that if Holmes wanted to win, he would have to be busier, more active than Hopkins. Hopkins has been averaging at least 10 punches per round more than Holmes in output. George, coming into the fight, Keith Holmes and his people were totally preoccupied with the notion that Hopkins would foul them. They were talking about all the things they would discuss with the referee. Low blows, holding and hitting, holding behind the head, hitting behind the head. And it accounted for the bulk of their conversation in our fighter meeting. Does a fighter already have an advantage if the opponent is thinking all the time about the possibility that he'll be fouled?
Well, the advantage is Hopkins is doing all of the above also. So he was worried about them. Now they're happening. The ref has got to do something now.
Time.
Low blow. Holmes winks at George Foreman. And a point deduction by Smoger.
You're on the other clock. You're on the other clock.
Well, when you ask Bernard Hopkins what a Philadelphia fighter is, he said, nuts, bolts, and balls.
And keep a left hook waiting on the burner.
He's got it to 5.
Holmes still doesn't look comfortable.
Regular clock.
But he has sense to going back to the action. There's a swelling that has begun around the left eye of Keith Holmes.
Well, the corner can work on that left eye, but those punches below the belt and on the legs that he's received, can't work on that.
Hopkins, having already lost 1 point for low blows, continued to flirt with the belt line there. And again.
Holmes has been put in a position where he's got to fight now. Too many rounds built against him. He's got to fight.
It's a Bernard Hopkins kind of a fight.
Don't give
with
him no
5
excuse,
rounds
baby.
in the books.
Don't give him no excuse. Good job, man. Hey, take a rest. Don't give him no excuse, son.
Tell me.
Use that left hand a little more and put yourself in a little more closer position and double your shots. Okay. Double your shot. Okay. Not one big charge, okay? Go with the...
No. You got to go back to your stick, okay? You get on the inside, you got to fight this guy on the inside.
Felt the power.
Don't sit there. You can't just sit there, Keith. You cannot sit there, okay?
All right, you heard me with the jab?
Yeah.
What's happening here, Larry?
Well, Bernard Hopkins had to go to South America to win his middleweight title, and he's still going to South America.
Some of those punches are right on the leg where it's really hard to recover.
At what point, George, should Holmes consider taking the law into his own hands? Fighting fire with fire.
He's about 2 rounds behind on doing threats.
Because we saw a perfect example last week. But, you know, Marco Antonio Barrera, every time he thought he was fouled, he went right back at Prince Nassim with the same kind of activity and didn't wait for the referee to discipline Nass.
What I meant is Holmes should be more aggressive and start jumping on him with punches. You don't want to hit below the belt and get into that kind of thing because you can lose. The referee's already taken a point from your opponent.
So just fight harder, huh?
Just fight harder. Fight him.
That's what Dave Jacobs trying to get him to do.
He's equally as good a fighter as Hopkins. Jump on him. Make him protect himself.
Don't punch. Step out. Step out. Stay up.
Halfway through round 6, Keith Holmes still not getting enough punches off to seize the initiative against Bernard Hopkins. Averaging about 30 punches per round is Holmes, and this from a guy who averaged 44 jabs per round coming in. 3 more body shots by Hopkins.
The old trick is to hit him below the belt, and before the referee can get in there, bring him up top. That's what he's doing. That's an old trick.
Smoger, another warning for Hopkins.
Too many holds. You want to get penalized. Let's go.
Well, Steve Smoger is exactly right. Too many borderline punches by Hopkins. Too much holding by Holmes.
Up. He thinks Holmes is holding, but what happens when Hopkins misses, he grabs him by the waist and pull him in, put his arms on him to make it look like he's holding. He's not doing all that much holding. Hopkins is very smart.
Rafty wraps the right hand like an old-time fighter, hides his chin behind his shoulder like an old-time fighter. Seizes every possible advantage, does Bernard Hopkins. Don't forget this Wednesday, it's another edition of On the Record with Bob Costas. This season, Bob's guest list has included luminaries such as Bruce Springsteen, George Clooney, Vince McMahon, and Ashley Judd. This week, we'll hear from Kevin Bacon, Bill Russell, and Virginia Tech quarterback Michael Vick. It's live at 11 p.m. Eastern and Pacific.
Put your hands in front of him. You got to throw shots in there, Keith. You're waiting too long. Come on.
Now, the more pressure you put on him, the more mistakes he makes, okay? All right? If you putting pressure on him and he's making mistakes, this is your favor. You understand? Just stay busy on the inside, okay?
So far, this has not been an auspicious start to this middleweight tournament.
Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. 59-54, 5 rounds for Hopkins and 1 even. In the 5th round, when Steve Smoger took away that point for the low blow, it became a 9-9 round, so that's the even round. Jim, I got to tell you something. A low blow is anything below the belly button. Now, I can't see Keith Holmes' belly button know-how. Those trunks are high. So when Bernard Hopkins hits you on a waistband, it's not always a low blow. I mean, either Smoker's got to pull those trunks down, or he's got to count the punches on the waistband as legal blows. And that's all there is to it. Holmes is wearing the trunks too high.
You're exactly right, Harold.
I think he is counting the
this
punches.
guy, he's been hit on the leg now, guys.
Now, those are low blows. You're right.
Right on the leg. Hopkins is hitting him on the legs. That has nothing to do with a waistband.
There's no question there have been low blows. You're right on target, George. I also think that Smoker is counting the punches on the belt line as legal blows. The low blows are below that. One, two, three, right on the belt line.
The referee seems to let those go.
Yep.
But every now and then he reaches right down, and that leg, I'm gonna tell you something, it'll make you faint when someone hits you on your leg in a boxing match.
No punch, no punch.
Too many miles of road work, plus someone hitting you there, it just doesn't work for you.
Sudden shock to the system.
Yeah, you don't need those, and I don't know how he can protect it. He needed a protective cup on his legs.
Holmes looking, just not getting it going. Misses with the left, misses with the right.
Don't punch, don't punch. Slip out, slip out.
Give no excuse, man. Right back, right back, right back.
Hopkins steps in and seizes the initiative with body punching again.
Well, and Hopkins is throwing more punches with really mean intentions. Holmes isn't. Some of them get through, but they all make an impression.
Piling up the punishment.
Holmes has been the aggressor without throwing a punch. That doesn't make sense. You got to throw punches.
Well, it's like the dog that chases the car, and then he catches it, and then what does he do?
Steve Smoker patting Hopkins on the butt.
All right,
Hopkins tried to pat him right back.
Closer, you're getting a little closer. Keep on closing it, baby. Keep closing it. Keep closing it. Stop your legs up and down. Stop it. That's it. Stop up and down.
Got him now.
You got him. You got him. Just close it. Don't give them no excuse to do anything to you. All right, baby?
10 down.
You on top.
You got to step in. You got to use that jab more, son. Come on, man. You got to step in. You got to fight this guy on the inside now. Come on. Let your hands go, Keith. You got to let your hands go. Okay? All right. You got to let your hands go. Let your hands go. All right.
Give me a jab,
All right, man.
okay?
Hopkins largely unmarked. Holmes' left eye continues to swell. Holmes threw only 23 punches by CompuBox count in round 7. Won't get it done. Hopkins 24-48 in what has become tactically an easy fight for Bernard Hopkins. Keith Holmes just not doing much.
That's it, okay. I know. Gotta keep him up. Come on. Gotta dry the corner.
More and more rapidly, we reach the point where it'd be obvious that Holmes needs a knockout. He's had 4 knockouts past the 7th round, none of them against an opponent the caliber of Hopkins.
Probably what he needs in his life. Get out there and go for a knockout. Make guys respect you.
Now Holmes begins to wake up and fire. He'll have to take leather to give leather.
told him to let those fists go, let the punches go. He's still holding back.
Put your hands up. Get up. Get up.
Hopkins flirting with the belt line again.
Don't punch. Come on, Bernard.
Smoker asks them to bring him up.
Beneath all of this, Hopkins is really a good fighter, you know.
That's it. That's it. Come on.
He's certainly an aggressive fighter.
I know. Last warning. Last warning.
Watch him, Smoker. Watch him.
I know.
Bernard Hopkins is in danger of being disqualified because body punching is what he does. And if he can't do it anymore,
Stay there.
He has not deducted another point. So having once previously deducted a point from Hopkins for low blows.
well, I don't know if he was saying one more and I'm going to deduct a point or one more and I'm going to disqualify you. What do you think it was?
I think the judge heard it.
The normal pattern would be deduct a point, deduct another point, and then disqualify.
Harold Letterman was reading him a little louder than me.
Harold, what is Smoker doing here?
Okay, Jim, my impression was that George was right, that Steve Smoker said one more time and I'm going to disqualify you. I mean, to me, he was very clear about it. He really told Bernard, either you keep them punches up or I'm going to disqualify you.
So why not another point deduction, Harold?
He could have. Let's put it that way. You know, you got to realize you got two world champions in there. It's a unification fight. He just doesn't want to keep pulling points, but he told them one more time and he's going to disqualify him.
Seems to me you make the point a lot more clearly if you take another point away.
There you go, that's it.
Get it done. Quiet.
Doing fine. Doing fine. But you got to work your hands, though. Grind and let them
You got to clean up this corner.
No problem. Thank you very much, bro. Give me a towel. Give me another towel.
You go with the loop. Go with the loop. The loop will land for you. Baby. The right loop. The right loop will land for you. They'll only loop it in there, son. Okay? Don't worry about going to the body so much. They're not going to let you fight the body.
All right, you heard in his corner where Hopkins was told they're not going to let you fight in the body.
Nothing gonna stop this.
Question now is whether Hopkins can discipline himself.
They ain't gonna let you go to the body. Hit him on the chin, X. They ain't gonna let you throw body shots. Hit him on the chin.
And it's in the computer. It's in there.
So I think it's going to be awfully hard for Bernard Hopkins to go through 4 rounds without going to the body.
Stay right there.
That's where he lives.
Is that all right? Let's give. Okay, I know.
Keith Holmes was slightly more active in round 8. He had the one big attacking flurry. He threw a total of 36 punches, but still, Hopkins threw more and landed more. So barring a dramatic upset in the scoring, Holmes would need a knockout or a disqualification to win. Looks like he's got a much better chance of getting Hopkins to disqualify himself.
Hopkins' corner told him to loop him in a little bit. Do the old Philadelphia.
Throw the loop, Bowie Fischer said. Throw the right-hand loop. There's Holmes with a straight left.
If he stands back there and wait on Holmes, he can get himself hurt.
That was the right-hand loop. And there's a straight right hand that hurt Keith Holmes up the middle. And another straight right hand hurts him again.
Push up. Break, don't punch.
In a fight like this, you almost pull for Hopkins to don't go to the body, just win the fight on top.
Yeah.
But you'd hate to see this tournament begin with a disqualification.
And I'm sitting here thinking, Galata.
Yep. We've seen it before.
If you only just win the fight.
Don't punch. Come on. Coach, you're gonna work yourself out.
seem to think it's pretty safe to just walk into Holmes' left hand. Doesn't even protect himself when he walks over to the right.
Nearly slips on a wet spot in Holmes' corner, but keeps his footing and pounds Holmes with the right hand. This has been another low punch output round for Keith Holmes. Hopkins goes to the body.
I think it might be more fun to watch them sweep up after the elephants in the circus upstairs from here.
Why don't you go get a look? Tell us what it's like.
Don't do it, Larry.
You know he might. Be back in time for the decision.
Slow down too much that round.
Okay, pick it up.
Got to pick it up some, son.
Okay. I'm doing all right, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got to pick it up some. Don't give him too much to go about with that body work, okay?
Low level execute.
Double them shots to the head and rip the shots around the outside. You loop the shots from the outside, you can't miss it. All right?
Breaking him down slowly, huh?
Yeah, you're breaking him down. Come on, take another one.
We are, y'all.
You're all right, you're all right. Stay on top, son. Stay on top. Rub him. Rub him.
I wonder what Tito Trinidad over there on the other side of the ring thinks of all of this. It's largely because of him that this tournament is underway.
Well, we'll find out in a live interview with Tito and William Joppy at the end of the evening. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Welcome to Philadelphia, Keith Holmes. Okay, Jim, I mean, this is a typical Philadelphia fight. Bernard Hopkins rushes in, pounds away to the body. Keith Holmes should have caught him with left hands coming in. He doesn't do it. Bernard's just getting inside and ripping vicious shots to the body and winning each round based on clean punching and effective aggressiveness. Keith Holmes, very, very little clean, effective punching.
Boy, whoever gets to fight Hopkins next better go to the south line. You better be ready. This guy brings his stuff with him.
If he wins tonight, Hopkins will await the winner of Trinidad Joppy. That fight takes place May 12 here in this same arena. The championship to be held September 15, also here at Madison Square Garden.
Holmes should take a chance now. Go for it. There you are. Good straight. Left hand to the jaw.
Oh, Hopkins pounded him right on the leg, George.
Step away from the water.
Did it on the side where Smoger wouldn't see it.
Yep. No hitting below the belt, but it's okay below the knee.
Hands are loose.
You attack Hopkins and he starts crossing his elbows as if to say, welcome to Philadelphia, as Harold Letterman said. He loves it.
Bernard would have been good in the bare knuckles days. You know, fight to the finish, 76 rounds, Jake Kilrain and John L. Sullivan. That's the kind of fight Bernard would have appreciated. He loves to talk about his degree from the School of Hard Knocks, his 5-year penitentiary education. About as smart a guy as you'll meet in the sport. Layer upon layer of considered opinion on everything. Monday night, check out the latest edition of Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Among the stories, a look at a question many may contemplate but few articulate. Real Sports does. How is life for white players in the predominantly black NBA? Also, we follow Michael Waltrip of NASCAR as that sport picks up the pieces in the aftermath of Dale Earnhardt's tragic death. This premieres Monday, April 16. Real Sports. Nothing is out of bounds. Trinidad, lower left. Felix sitting next to John Ruiz, Puerto Rican heavyweight, and behind Ruiz is William Joppi. Those two ready to fight each other on May 12, ready to sit with each other and be interviewed here live at the end of the evening. Felix Trinidad moving up in weight from 154 to enter this 160-pound championship tournament. You put the four fighters together, and physically, he looks like the biggest of the four. Keith Holmes has landed only 37 of 208 jabs in this fight. That's an 18% connect percentage, about half of what Holmes is usually able to do with the jab. So he hadn't gotten that element of his game going tonight. That has given Hopkins free rein. Pot shot him inside and out. And there's a solid left hook that wobbles Holmes. And let's see if the executioner can execute it.
That was the closest thing to a knockdown that we've seen so far.
Stopped him in his tracks.
It was on top of the head, too, nowhere near the low shots.
Well, if Holmes wants to do anything here, he's got to take some chances, and you wonder if he's going to.
Now it's for Holmes, it's about protecting yourself. That's the only thing that matters now.
Get up, get up, get out of the corner.
Hopkins looked like he was going to fall through the ropes. Looked like he was going to pull Holmes through the ropes with him.
Your hands are loose, box out. Break, don't punch, don't punch. Step out, step out.
Hopkins has got Holmes on the edge. If he can only just go out for the finish now, he could have a knockout. It's going to take a few jabs.
Another left hook lands flush.
Break, 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 break. Step out, step out. Step out, step out, step out.
Just not doing much to keep Hopkins off of him.
Break, break, break. Come on. Get up, get up, get up, get up. 2. Get up. Come on. 3. Get up. 4. Get up. 5.
This is when you need a jab.
Tough against a rangy southpaw. Instead, Hopkins elects to let Holmes lead and try to counter for the knockout.
Brings him a little closer to him, he figures.
No knockdown, no knockdown, no knockdown, no knockdown. Come on, go over here.
Little trickle of blood from the right nostril of Bernard Hopkins, George Foreman points out to me. Well, he needed some kind of a badge of honor to show he was in the fight,
Right
right?
hand, son. Short right hand. All right?
Close this one out, right?
Yeah, you got to close this one out, baby. You need this round bad, bad.
Come on now.
I'm telling you what I need to tell you, son. Okay? You need this round.
You got to fight him now, Keith. Come on now. Come on. You got one more to go. Let's put them together now.
All right, this is it right
You
here.
got one more to go.
It's up to
Come on,
you.
baby. It's up to you now.
Make all that hard work pay off, man.
Clean up the water buckets. Come on.
Give me some water. Give me some water.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're approaching the 12th and final round of this bout. When Chairman is able to set in the ring, this is round 12.
Touch him, touch him. God bless. Let's go.
Fascinating corner work there. Hopkins appears to have won virtually every round, but you heard Bowie Fisher telling him, you really need this last round. I'm telling you the truth, son, you've got to have this last round. I didn't hear any of Holmes's people tell him that he ought to be going for a knockout.
This is a fight. When you go 12 rounds, it's the judges who count.
Harold, how do you have it through 11?
That's it. What do you want to get disqualified for? Come on, Keith.
Okay, Jim. 10 rounds for Bernard Hopkins. 1 round.
Yeah, that was not a hard shot.
109-99, Bernard Hopkins.
This is the knockout that Keith Holmes is looking to get right here. He's trying to win this fight on a disqualification.
Right,
that was not a hard blow. You're not going to get it that way, Keith. You got to fight it to win it.
Let's go.
Hopkins playing to the crowd across the ring. Smoger makes clear to Holmes he's got to come back and fight.
Bernard Hopkins shouldn't throw another punch below the shoulders.
Which is pretty much what Smoger told him as he sent him to the neutral corner.
In my young days, Larry, if you had said that to me, I would have come out of the ring and gotten you.
If I'd have said what?
What you just said to Holmes in his face.
Yeah, but he won't go out and get the guy he's fighting. Why would he come out the ring and get me?
You want to use the opponent.
Well, that's true. But it's also true he's made a very feeble effort, George. He's fighting for big stakes, the biggest fight of his life, and he hasn't shown us any will.
Hopkins has really been smart about the way he's going about whipping this guy. He's done a good job.
Hopkins would love to finish this up by knocking Holmes out, having said for weeks that if he didn't knock Holmes out, he didn't deserve to be undisputed middleweight champion. As one New York columnist pointed out this morning, the most likely result in the fight is Hopkins by decision, and guess what? If Bernard wins the decision, he ain't going to give it back, regardless of what he said about how he ought to knock Holmes out.
He said it was part height.
Don't punch.
Hopkins is so crafty, George. It's like he's playing games in there.
He's a good fighter. I don't know what's with the punches below the belt. He's a very good fighter. He doesn't need it.
Intimidation, I suppose.
Now here's a guy who seems to be way ahead, trying to close the show. The guy who's behind has conceded the fight, it appears.
A less than thrilling beginning for the thrilling concept of a middleweight unification tournament. By all expectations, Trinidad Jockey will be a better fight.
Tough fight. You're a warrior, man. Everything's cool, man. Everything's cool. You're warriors. We're brothers, man. All right. Let's walk the ring. Walk the ring. Walk the ring.
Keith Holmes, by CompuBox numbers, threw 20 punches in round 12. Underlining Larry's point.
Allahu Akbar. Takbir. Number 20 round. Number 20. Takbir. He tied D block. D block. Undisputed champ. The undisputed champ. Top bid. Top bid. Top bid. Mom. Everybody with cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer. Chalk it up. Smile. Smile on your face. My mom beat it. My mom beat it so I can beat it. Why? Lost God. That's right. Lost God. To the cradle, to the grave. Y'all willing to die. All right. Undisputed champion. Hi, Larry. Hi, George. I bet you George my friend now. He seen him try to fake it, but it didn't work, George. Big George, my man. Larry Merchant, Jim Lampney, HBO, Madison Square Garden.
You know what?
In Delaware, everybody, family.
Hopkins showed us tonight that he's a good fighter. And I'm telling you, whoever's got to meet him in the rest of this tournament,
DC should be proud of
I feel for them. They better go to the hills, and they better stay in the hills. Come down when you're ready.
Well, that's going to be exciting.
I'm on my way.
The guy is
The
tough.
haters got to go to sleep.
Barring some overwhelming shock here on the scorecards, Bernard Hopkins has fought his way into the final of the middleweight championship series to take place September 15 on TVKO pay-per-view.
You never know with the judges. You just never know.
How you feeling, Chop?
Boy, is that ever true. I was in Atlantic City one night when George Foreman somehow lost a decision to Shannon Briggs in a fight in which I think Foreman won 10 or 11 rounds.
Yeah, but you always think I win.
Yeah, I do. I think he won tonight, too. Let's go up to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official particulars on this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards with a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Larry Hazard Jr. scores at 117 to 110. Judge George Colon sees it 118 to 109. Tom Kazmarek scores them at 119 to 108. All three in favor of the winner. Now the WBC and the IBF middleweight champion of the world, continuing in the series, Bernard the Executioner Hopkins.
Did a good job.
So we get the expected scores and the easy unanimous decision victory for Hopkins. CompuBox numbers will underline the rout. Hopkins landing 175 more punches, throwing 190 more punches, landing at twice the percentage of Holmes, who really never got going with the jab and the perimeter attack, which was supposed to deliver him a chance to win the fight. Jabs. Hopkins dispensing with the tactic for the most part, landing only 3 of 72. More to the point, Keith Holmes throwing only 225 jabs in 12 rounds. That's fewer than 20 per round from a guy who came in averaging 44 jabs per round. In other words, he couldn't win fighting that way. Let's go to Larry Merchant with the winner.
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Bernard. First question has to be, you said you wouldn't regard it as a victory if you didn't knock him out. You didn't knock him out. You almost schneided him, won all the rounds. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I did predict that I would knock him out. And if I didn't knock him out, I didn't deserve to be the undisputed middleweight champion. And simple as that, I lied. I'm going to move on and go ahead and finish the tournament. Keith is an awkward guy. I was a little anxious, I must say, Larry. And, you know, by the big controversy about the belt, about hitting him low and things like that, it took away from my game. I was real conscious of it. I think a lot of times, if people witness that I did hit him on the belt line, maybe 1 or 2 low, but not intentionally, and that kind of hindered my ability, but I kept pressing though, Larry.
Yeah, but you did hit him some clearly low punches as well as the ones on the borderline. I
apologize to him.
Huh?
I apologize. I'm sorry, things happened, Larry, and then I didn't intentionally do it.
But how close did you feel to being disqualified in the last 4 rounds?
Well, I didn't think about it until I guess Steve said, Bernard, look, I'm gonna have to disqualify you. And I said, Steve, he's pushing my head down. I'm hitting him. He's kind of tall, got me by 1 inch or 2. But you know, I did keep it in the back of my mind, Larry, but I couldn't retreat and let him get courage
to move forward. You know what I mean?
Well, but were you so conscious of it that you felt, well, I can't even hit him below the shoulders now because I'm winning the fight?
Well, Larry, I wanted to, you know, I figured I should hit myself. Maybe I'll get some points for it because, you know, I was scared to hit him anywhere. I mean, to be honest with you, and, you know, I don't want to lose on a disqualification. I'd rather lose on the ground on my back. But, yeah, I was a little leery, Larry. I was a little leery.
Let's take,
won't be that way.
All right, we're going to take a look at some of the action in this fight.
Serious.
If we can show some of the low blows, tell us what's happening here and why.
Well, I'm on belt line. I'm on the belt line. I'm on the hip there. That's the belt line, right on his name. See, that's legal. Those shots is legal.
Now that's legal. That ain't legal.
Well, you see him pulling me down, though. He pulling me down. I can't see where I'm hitting. I'm just letting my hands go. My trainer said, always let your hands go. You know what? Steve Smoker, as short as he is, could have break because I could have clipped him a couple times. Not intentionally, but, you know, he's holding him with one hand, and I'm whacking him, and I'm whacking him. Watch this shot. Larry, look. That's right on the belt line. On the belt line, right there, on the belt line. You're going to see another right hand right there, borderline.
Borderline to you is low to everybody else.
Hey, I don't know. Maybe my measurement is off, you know.
Do you have
to... Thank HBO, thank Don King.
Do you have to fight that kind of a roughhouse fight to be effective, Bernard?
I think I have to fight the fight that I've been taught in Philadelphia. Hey, maybe I should get on some Prozac or something. I've been taught to blame my trainer. He taught me the rough and tough fighter. You ever seen Benny? Oh, you seen Benny Briscoe. You come out of Philadelphia. Rough and tough, elbows, kneecaps, and the whole 9 yards. This is fighting, Larry. People want to see blood and guts.
What's going to happen in the second fight of the series? What are you hoping happens?
Well, first of all, no more guaranteed knockouts, but I'll win. I will tell you I will win the tournament. I don't care if it's Joppy. I don't care if it's Keith. No, Keith's done. Trinidad. I will be rooting for both of them, but you know, I got a lot of African Americans behind me to take on them Puerto Ricans.
Well, you want to make a race war out of it? Is that what you're saying?
I want make, I guess you could say, a positive situation where you got Spanish people that support their fighters way back in Escalero days, and African Americans will lobby Hopkins because the Mexicans lobby Fernando Vargas when he fought Trinidad. So why not the African Americans, who are proud people also, come together and start what we call a tribe against each other. We're the Mandingo tribe. They would be the San Mangago tribe.
All right, tribal warfare. Just what we need.
I love you, Larry. Got a nice haircut, man.
Thank you, Bernard. So we've started this experiment in a middleweight tournament. You know, there have been some middleweight and heavyweight and other tournaments in the past. Something frequently happens to stop it from reaching its final goal. Somebody wins a fight, starts to think they're worth a whole lot more money, and before you know it, it all falls apart. That's been known to happen. Still in all, it's not a bad idea. Madison Square Garden deserves a lot of credit for putting up some money. Tito Trinidad deserves much of the credit because he's the one that makes this happen. And to give the devil, the true devil, his due, Don King deserves the credit for putting it together as well.